your waist. The only shots in the drinks on my face. And I don't care what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill mine. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill mine. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like I'm a lay. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, give you energy. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, give you energy. Na 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 na. My vibe. Na 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 na. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill mine. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill mine. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly drinks plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly drinks plenty.
Greetings and salutations, one and all.
Shelly drinks plenty moving like family.
Vibes up, everybody.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele.
Na 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 na.
It's real talk night.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
And we're asking that nobody kill our vibes.
Before and I'm outside again. Time for life and the joy.
Music from Telia.
Pray to God that today never ends. Holding the vibe with me friends.
This is how we're kicking off things tonight.
Sweet soca playing. With me hand now we fighting.
I'm gonna say big up to each and everyone locked in right now.
Nobody say you could be friend or enemy. Keep on doing what you wanna do.
Those locked in on the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele on TuneIn Radio.
Please don't kill my.
Blessings to ya.
Just don't kill mine. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill mine. Cause we don't hear vibes.
Big up to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com.
Vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty bad mind, give you energy.
Welcome.
Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes,
Massive locked in out of New Jersey.
give you energy.
NIE Radio with the motivator.
The road, nothing can stop me, I don't want go home. The drinks got
Big ups to my brother from another mother.
I beg the bartender for more, so please bad boy.
Remember you can catch him Double Trouble Thursdays
Send the drinks to my face, and I don't care what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy.
and Motivation Saturdays.
Do what you wanna do, just don't kill my.
NIE Radio, Reggae Global Radio.
Just don't kill mine. Could do whatever, I don't.
Mr. Lindsay is on
Just don't kill
every day at midday. Sorry, from 10. Well, no lie. From midday to 3 o'clock.
drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly, drinks.
Catching up in age, you know.
Cause we don't hear vibes, Shelly, drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes,
Big up to those who are also
bad mind, give you energy.
the other station that joined out of New Jersey. Mix102.com. And their sister station in Jamaica, Earth 96 FM. Blessings to you, so glad to have you. Big up yourself, Symbol. Those locked in out of New York on Reggae Pulse Radio. DJ Atomic Force on the crew, much love to you and you.
And I'm outside again. Time for life and the joy that it brings. Pray to God that today never ends.
Massive locked in and tuning. Sorry, on YouTube.
Sweet soca playing. With me hand now we fighting away. Don't give a damn one no.
Welcome.
Friend or enemy. Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill mine. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't.
If you're locked in on Zeno FM, bubbling in the stew pot. Welcome.
Shelly drinks, plenty moving.
Those on Clubhouse,
Vibes, Shelly,
also bubbling in the stew pot.
give energy. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly,
Welcome, welcome, welcome to you.
Cause when I out on the road, nothing can stop me, I don't want to go home. The drinks got me in full beast mode. I beg the bartender for more, so please bad boy, keep your gun on your waist. The only shots in the drinks on my face, and I don't care what nobody say. You could be friend or enemy, just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe.
Tonight I have a guest sitting in with me.
Just don't kill my vibe.
She'll be hanging out with us for about an hour.
Really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my vibe. Cause we don't hear vibes. Shelly drinks, plenty moving like family. Vibes, Shelly drinks, plenty vibes.
We're gonna see if we can get some balance to this thing.
Drinks, plenty moving like family.
That's exactly what we're gonna be talking about a little bit later on.
Plenty bad mind, keep your energy.
But before we get there, I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors, Pulse Media Group. And being in a moment is priceless. Go ahead and give them a call. 954. No, they don't use that number anymore. 754 999 1140.
It's another 24, and I'm outside again. Time for life and the joy.
What can they do for you?
Today,
They can stream your event live.
with me friends, and we out here.
You beat a wedding, church service, party, funeral, graduation, seminar.
Never down what nobody say.
A broadcast just like this one that you're watching right here.
Doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Cause we out.
Let's go ahead and give them a call, 754 999 1140. Not only can they stream your event live on a secure platform, whether it is yours or theirs,
Bad mind, keep your energy.
they can host your website.
Shelly
They host mine.
like family.
So give them a call.
Shelly drinks, plenty bad mind.
Tell them Kevin Steele sent you.
Yeah.
We'll find out what they can do for you and how they can help you out to get there.
Stop me, I don't want to go home. The drinks got me
I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands.
for more, so please bad boy.
Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties.
Nobody say you could be
She comes to you,
just keep on doing.
bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience.
Please don't kill my vibe. Just don't kill my. Could do whatever, I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill
Go ahead and give her a call. Schedule her appointment right now.
me, cause we don't need
954 655 9000.
like
She operates out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties.
mind, keep your energy. Cause we don't
And when you get service like hers coming to you,
plenty moving like family.
man, it's a good thing. She only has one request outside of paying her. It's that she gets off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. It's called the Kevin Steele clause. Because if you're anything like me, you will definitely fall asleep when she lays those hands on you.
Just keep on.
Want to say thank you to the Global Base.
It's another 24, and I'm outside again.
The Global Base navigates your journey across music, marketing, and much, much more. It's a realm where social spheres awaken through mastery.
Sweet soca play.
Go ahead, embrace the invitation to liberate your creativity, unbounded and free.
You could be friend or enemy. Just keep on.
Now, you can explore your creativity freely,
Kill my vibe.
but their services are not free.
My vibe.
Except for the free consultation that you get when you give them a call.
But I don't really care.
The Global Base is your catalyst for everything related to music, marketing, and event planning, and even with social media.
We don't hear voice. Shelly drinks. Plenty room.
Go check them out. TheGlobalBase.com, DAGlobalBASE.com.
Energy. Cause we don't
Tell them you heard about him on the night shift to DJ Kevin Steele.
like family. Vibes. Shelly drinks. Plenty bad mind. Keep it.
I want to say thank you to Mike Neal Trucking.
Cause when I
Mike Neal Trucking is a veteran-owned, licensed and insured mover in the state of Florida.
got me in full beast mode. I beg the bartender for more. So please bad.
So you want to move from the Keys to Jacksonville?
The only shots in the
from Naples to Palm Beach, from Pompano to Pensacola, and all points in between.
Just keep on.
You want to put some things in storage, you don't have the manpower, you don't have the equipment, you don't have any way to get there. No transportation. Don't worry. You have the name, you have the number. McNeil Trucking. 954-406-9740. Call them up and tell them Kevin Stew sent you. It won't necessarily guarantee a discount, but it could. Invite him to call a friend, tell a friend. Friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Call up anybody, somebody, everybody. Let them know. It's real talk right here. Night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. KevinStew.com and affiliates. No matter what you want to do, you know. It don't matter to me. As long as you don't kill my vibes, I'm straight. Now, killing my vibe, that is something that could be visited at some point in time, right?
You wanna do, just don't kill my vibe.
Before I bring my guest in to join us, a couple of things I want to touch on real quickly. If you haven't gotten your copy of the audiobook yet, go ahead and go get yours now. It's empowered. Essential concepts and strategies every woman should know about self-defense. It's authored by Jonathan Field, narrated by yours truly, DJ Kevin Stew. It's available on Audible. Get one for yourself, give one to a friend. And not because it says essential concepts and strategies every woman should know about self-defense means that men shouldn't read it too. I learned so much when I was narrating this. You will learn so much from listening to it. If you can't find it yourself on Audible, don't worry about it. Just go to kevinstew.com. You'll see a copy of the book cover right there. Click on it. It takes you to exactly where you need to be to get your copy.
I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe.
Don't be afraid. Don't be shy.
Just don't kill my vibe.
Just get your copy of the book. I want to say thank you to One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation also. And if you're not familiar with them yet, I suggest that you do get familiar. Those Jamaicans out in the diaspora, friends of Jamaicans, and lovers of Jamaica. You might want to get involved with this movement. One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation is dedicated to defending the threat to democracy and hold public officials accountable in Jamaica. It's a non-partisan anti-corruption group advocating for an improved quality of governance in Jamaica that is participatory, transparent, accountable. All these things, pay attention. Participatory, transparent, accountable, effective, and equitable. Their experts and advocates use litigation, communication strategies, research, analysis aimed at enhancing constitutional protection, protests. They are so active right now. If you're wondering what is going on in Jamaica and who is holding them accountable, it's the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, and your participation and activity will help them to do so. Check out the website, ojldf.org. Thank you, One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. Alright, now that I've gotten those things out of the way, there are a few other things, but like the Winchester T album, EP release this coming Saturday, happening at Valencia's in Margate, 7 p.m. It's free. You don't want to miss it. We're gonna have guest artists too. Yamistic passing through, Ed Robinson rolling through, live music from Grassfire Band, and Winchester T himself doing some of his tracks off the EP. So I'll see you there, because trust and believe it will be a nice event.
Just keep on doing what you wanna do. Just don't kill my vibe. Please don't kill my vibe.
So I have this delightful lady that is joining me tonight.
But I don't really care.
I remember the first time I met her. Thanks to Thalia for this tune called Don't Kill My Vibes. But this young lady here, let me tell you something. The first time I met her, I was literally, no, it wasn't the first time I met her. The first time I heard her sing, I was literally blown away. First of all, walking through a crowd, you'd probably miss her. But once she gets on that stage and grabs this mic, mercy. Mercy, mercy, mercy.
Just keep on doing what you wanna do.
Ladies and gentlemen, this delightful smile belongs to this young lady here by the name of Lici Soul. You see it?
I don't really care. Just don't kill my vibe.
Her here bigger than her, trust me.
Yep.
Lici, welcome to Real Talk on the night shift to DJ Kevin's Stew. Boy, this has been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming. Wow.
But
We've been talking about this for a while.
for quite a while. But
We've been talking about it for a while.
you know, if there's one thing that is true, is that nothing happens before its time.
Yes, I believe that. I believe that.
And
So I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that you are here.
Yes.
So
I'm excited for this conversation tonight.
not as excited as me, trust me. No, just so that people can get a little bit of insight into Lici, I'm gonna give you the screen, let you introduce yourself for a moment. All right?
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Wow. Okay. Well, hi everybody. My name is Lici Soul, born and raised in Jamaica, living in Florida now. I am a singer, full-time singer. I went full-time singing in 2021 after I was a teacher and decided that this career is the path that I want to pursue. So here I am 2-3 years later now, still in the music business deeper than I have been, and I love it. It's given me back my time. I don't think I'm gonna tell I'll let y'all guess. But I have sang background vocals for several people. I actually started out one of my first tours was with Singing Melody. And I've also sang with Glenn Washington. I've sang with the Wailers. And a few other, I've sang with Freddie McGregor. And, I have my singing solo career where I have 3 songs released that are out on YouTube that you can go find, under Lici Soul, and you'll be able to see all 3 of my singles. I also sing in top 40s bands across South Florida, and I travel and I sing. So I feel like I'm kind of living my dream, because when I was a little girl, I was singing, and, I used to dream of being on stages. So, and, it's just a blessing to me to be able to sing with some of the people that I grew up listening to as well. So there's some nice things happening, continuing on into 2024. So stay tuned for that, because I think you guys will be just as excited as I am. But I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. Y'all will figure it. Y'all will find out soon enough.
All right. So that was a snippet.
A snippet.
A neat little snippet of who Lici Soul is. And a little bit later on, I'll have her give you her social media handle, and so
Yes.
you can reach out and connect with her, because there's a whole lot more to her than the singing.
Yes.
And
True.
this is kind of how we got to the point of talking about balance, because
Yeah.
you heard her mention being a teacher. You heard her mention singing. You didn't hear her talk about hanging out with friends. You didn't
Right.
hear about her being a parent. You
Right.
didn't hear about the journey to teaching. You didn't hear about some of the other jobs that she has held.
Yeah.
And so it kind of takes us to how to hold it all together, and how she
Mm.
holds it all together. And I was having this candid discussion, because I'm not going to leave her out there by herself. I'll put in some of mine too. Some of my
Yes.
own little
Don't be
things.
missing it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I won't leave all the spotlight on you. You're the better looking one, but these people see me all the time, and you do have more here. So,
For both of us.
so let's start with recognizing that you needed to balance things out.
Yeah.
Uh, Do you know when you recognize that things were not in balance for you?
Yeah, I actually do. Um, so I'll get a little bit personal. Well, yeah, I'm
Well,
personal
this
right
is
now,
this
but
is all about
you
being
guys will,
personal.
you guys are gonna hear some stuff that I don't typically talk about. So, this is the night shift.
It
Okay.
is. And
Um,
wait,
so
hold
back
on
in,
1 second before you do that.
yeah.
People, normally you would see a chat room here on kevinstew.com. The stew pot, somebody came into the kitchen and removed the stew pot.
Uh-oh.
I don't know where the chat room disappeared to. But
Oh boy.
for those of you who want to get in touch, the YouTube chat is still there. So you can go to kevinstew.com and just go to the YouTube video, just click on it. It takes you to YouTube and you can chat there. The phone number is scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. 773-789-STEW. That's 773-789-7839. You can call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram from anywhere in the world and get through to us. And so you can share your comments there. You can call in and be a part of this discussion and share how you find balance yourself even. And the phone
Yeah.
line is always open for you to participate in our dialogue. So
Yes.
now, Lisa, back to you. Thank you.
So your question was, when did I recognize that I needed to find
Balance.
some balance?
Yeah.
You know what? I think that my body was telling me long before I had the words to put to what it was. But I remember it really struck me the end of 2019. As a matter of fact, right before COVID, I was living in Maryland. I was in a relationship that was not good. It was very unhealthy. And at the time, I ended up, because my son's father lived in Florida still.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that, okay, I need to change some things here. And I need to get my son in a very stable place. So I had him go back to his dad, or come back to his dad here in Florida. And I remember in December 2019, I had a very vivid dream of my son. And I literally woke up crying because it was like someone was taking my son away from me, like right before my very eyes. And my son said to me, Mom, don't worry. And it just made me, very emotional. And, I said, you know what? I have more support here in Florida. I have a lot of unfinished business here in Florida. I have a lot of relationships that I need to mend in Florida. I have more of a business network here in Florida. I said I need to go back to Florida and get, firstly, stable.
Mm.
I think when you look at, so also one thing that I didn't mention is that I don't want to say I'm a student of psychology. I graduated with my psychology degree. So I studied a lot of theories and models and stuff like that. And the first model that always comes to my mind when it comes to the human condition and me is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And that one of the very first things is pretty much your safety, stability, your
Mm-hmm.
shelter, your the basic needs. So I was like, all right. I literally went back to the basics. I was like, what do I need? What do I need to create some level of calm? Like I said, my body felt it before I could put the words to it. And I ended up moving back to Florida. And that was the beginning of my walk to balance or harmony. Some people don't like to use balance because they'll say balance is unrealistic, but harmony between your work and your personal life is what a lot of people say is more realistic. So whichever word you choose to use, that was the beginning of my journey,
Mm-hmm.
December 2019. Um, and so I came back down here, and then COVID happened. And so I had to go back into teaching because I quit teaching. I was like, I was getting sick too much. That was something else. I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back here and do music. People, knew that I was here, but then of course everything went down. So what skills did I have to fall back on? Teaching. Who were needed? Teachers,
Mm-hmm.
especially for preschool. I taught preschool. Um, And when you ask me that question, I'll tell you how I got into it. Um, so that's what I ended up doing, during COVID. And then uh, my girlfriend, her, Alicia Marie, at the end of 2020, towards the end of 2020, she called me up, you know, because like everybody was pivoting, but she ended up getting a gig at this place called Sunset Catch. And she was like, sis, come through and let's do this gig together. So I started gigging on the weekends with her and teaching. And then I ended up bartending.
Mm-hmm.
So I had three jobs, okay, in between 2020 and 2021. And I did that. I was hustling. I was like on the go. I was like, we got to get this together. So at a time, I ended up not having a lot of balance. The survival mode in me was very much alive. Um, I was like, we gotta get this money, we gotta get stable, we gotta make sure that things are good, financially, because that is important. Um, I also reconnected. I was connected with my family. My dad, as a matter of fact, my mom passed away when I was 12. So my dad is pretty much the family that I have here in Florida, and my stepmom. And, those were the relationships that I wanted to mend. So I ended up, you know, reconnecting with my dad, and they were so very instrumental in helping me find some stability, and not just physically, but also emotionally feeling supported. And along with my friends, I was able to, and therapy. I ended up going into therapy in 2020. Yes. I went into therapy in 2020. So I formulated a foundation of support that helped me get through a lot of the transitions in 2020 and 2021. Um, it helped me get clear. I think actually therapy might have been one of the biggest helps for me, thinking back now on finding that balance. Because again, going back to that hierarchy of needs, one of the things that we talked about or that I learned was formulating and finding your foundational people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I created that foundation that helped me to feel supported. And I was working. So between me having that support, working, I was able to have some of the building blocks to come to this place that I am and practice a lot of the things that help me stay in tune
Right.
and focus. Yeah.
So let's kind of hash this out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You got a dream that scared the
Yes.
life out of you. That's one of the
Yeah.
things. You decided to relocate, which is scary in and of itself. That's a stressful thing. Moving is always stressful.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about moving from one part of the city to another part of the city. We're talking about moving states,
Yes.
which I've also done.
Yeah.
Well, first there was the moving of the country and then the moving of the states. But anyway,
Yeah.
then something went off. Something said, hey, things are not quite right here, and we need to find a right
Right.
fight.
Yeah.
The trigger, the thing that started pointing you in the right direction, did that come before or after therapy?
It came before. Well, you know what? So I would say this. When I was teaching in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Um, I was teaching at the Jewish Community Center. And if you know anything about Jewish people, they're very big on community.
Yes.
As much as I really cried when I was leaving that place because I found a family there and formed some really great relationships there. I needed that experience to kind of show me what family is, what community feels like, or what I want. It gave me a model for what I wanted to feel like in my own community.
Mm-hmm.
And I also knew that I needed to mend, like I said, mend the relationships that I wanted to mend. Meaning, so I'll say this. I said to myself, I want to mend relationships with God and myself,
Mm-hmm.
my son. I wanted to mend relationships with my parents, my family. I wanted to mend relationships with women. I wanted to mend relationships with men. I literally went down the list of what I wanted to, I was very intentional about where I wanted to go because relationships are so important. Everything that we do is in relationship with something. I even said I wanted to mend my relationship with money. It was that serious for me. So seeing how some of the values that were in the Jewish community, even with them arguing and fussing, they have their day of forgiveness. I remember, talking to the one of the executives there, and parents, of course, they're sometimes very hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you know what? One thing that stuck with me about that is like, you know what? She's gonna have to be mad at me. Or I'm gonna on the day of forgiveness, I'll beat my chest and we'll just deal with it there. So it's like I had to also remember that people are people, and we're human, we're imperfect beings, and you can't just carry around grudges forever. We're gonna make mistakes, and we got to be able to move past it. We got to be able to have a heart of forgiveness. Um, so I took on a lot of those values and I remembered them, and it was a driving factor in pushing me in the direction of mending and moving and just clearing up my life and my energy and my space. You know,
How did you know you wanted to? That was what you had to do, though. What
First,
told you?
I I guess intuition. Intuition and experience also. Um, you know how okay, I don't know if you know how they say, but I've learned
Hmm.
that in order to really and truly experience happiness, you got to know what the other side of that is, and that is depression.
Hmm.
Because if you go through life, and this is just my philosophy, if you go
Yes.
through life never experiencing anything, you really won't know what happiness is. It will just kind of be like the baseline. Then things will just, and we're human. We have a full range of emotions that we're going to experience. So
Hmm.
how did I know? I experienced enough um, scenarios in my life that told me I need to do this. Maybe losing my mom at a very young age and not having that, close, family bond. Because my dad was here the entire time. I ended up moving here to the US when I was like 18,
Hmm.
19, pretty much. So I never really truly had that familial bond.
Right.
So it was, and I think it's just something that's innately in us as human beings. As much as they say there's this epidemic of loneliness now,
Hmm.
I just feel like there is an innate sense, just an instinct, and it's the lizard brain, if you want to call it that, that says that we need to be in relationship with other people. We're social beings.
Right.
We've come this far surviving in relationship to other people. So I think that was just an instinctual urge, just one of those basic needs that I need to mend my relationships. And I think as women too, we thrive men too, but I think women, we thrive so much more, in relationships and, that familial environment.
You said something that I talk about and I say it to people quite often. You mentioned working in the Jewish center, community center, and finding a family there.
Yeah,
But you also mentioned not having that familial connection.
right.
I tell people all the time, relatives you don't choose, family you do.
Yeah,
And your family don't have to be people that you've known from birth. They don't have to be people that you're blood related to. They are the ones that are there for you when you're in the trenches. If they're not there for you, they're there with you.
yeah,
These people are your family. And just for you to recognize who it is that you need in your space to share that energy, that life bringing, life giving energy
yeah.
to help you to get from point A to point B, from minute to minute, just so that
Mm-hmm.
at the end you can say, boy, you know what, I made it. I may not have won, but I made it. And
Yeah.
these people are the people that we really need around us. Forget who we want around us. These are the people that we need around us. And so
Yes.
you say for you it was something that you couldn't quite put your finger on, but you knew that you were experiencing it and needed to address it, and this is what it led you to.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the mix of that, you and I'll come back to this over and over and over again because I believe it is the one of the most important things that any person walking the face of the planet can do, especially now. You found
Mhm.
a therapist.
Mhm. Yep.
Finding a therapist for me was instrumental in me recognizing certain things about me, getting to
Mhm.
know me, and knowing what I wanted in my space, what I didn't want in my space, what I could tolerate. You know, it allowed me to be okay with not being okay
Mhm.
and with needing to lose some people.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's kind of weird being a social being
Yeah.
to say I need to lose some people,
Yeah.
but here's the reality: not everybody in your space is there for you.
Right.
They might be there because of you, but they're not in support of you.
Right.
And so, in recognizing self, you are going to lose some people along the way.
Yeah.
And it is going to be one of the most difficult things to get a grasp of in the initial stages. But at some point in time, you're going to recognize that, listen, this is what I needed. I needed
Yeah.
this because I've grown from
Yeah.
strength to strength since. But without
Mhm.
recognizing where you're coming from and recognizing who you are, it is going to be missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here you were in Maryland doing your thing, finding a group that you felt you belonged in because
Mhm.
that's a family, a place where you
Right.
belong. But at the same time, saying, wait, I need to leave this space because
Mhm.
I'm incomplete.
Mhm.
And whereas I may not find true completion, at least I need to work on getting there.
Yeah.
And so you've taken up yourself and decided to make a move.
Mhm.
One of the differences between your move, well, you said you sent your son to come and live with his father before you made your move to Florida, back to
Yeah.
Florida. I remember having to move away from my children.
Mm.
And it was one of the hardest things
Oh yeah.
I could have ever done.
Yeah.
First, breaking up with their mother and leaving the space that I shared with them. There was
Yeah.
that. That was difficult. Now moving
Yeah.
thousands of miles away from
Mm.
them, which was unnecessary evil at the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was difficult.
Oh yeah.
You don't recognize how important it is to do some of these things until you stop and you look back, until you learn
Mhm.
certain things, until you have gained some maturity,
Right.
and most importantly, until you get to meet yourself.
Right.
Then you will recognize some of the things that you had to have done, not knowing what you were doing at the time and how important it would have been for you to be where you are today.
Yep. Yeah. And moving in a way that even if you are judged for it, that's why I feel your foundational people are so important. Having that foundation. And you don't need a lot, you know, because at the end of the day, what matters is, like you said, some of the decisions that you make, you may not understand everything about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's faith and it's a trust in God that everything is gonna work for my good. And letting the rest fall by the wayside, not worrying about what anybody else is gonna say. We do I feel like sometimes we don't give ourselves enough grace. You know, I'm still working on being gracious to myself even now, because I find that still I struggle with being very hard on myself and judging myself. So I have to catch myself. You know how they say, you know, you got to practice talking to yourself like a friend, like you talk to your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I had to stop myself and be like, Alicia, would you talk to your friend like that? You know, and it's a real thing. So, and going back to moving, moving isn't easy, but moving away from your children or sending your children away is not easy. Sometimes it is a necessary evil, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But again, going back to that, you will not be able to appreciate and truly understand the depth of um, happiness or um, fulfillment if you don't experience the other side of that and really dig into it. You can't, it goes hand in hand. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's the yin and yang of life. You know, I believe that we're gonna forever experience, and we have to take it for what it is. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be bad. I feel like decisions are decisions. Yes, some of them can have negative impacts on us, but there's always a lesson if we really look at it. There's always a lesson in it. So I think the finding balance and the finding of harmony in that is being able to also find the lesson in it and making peace with it. And I think that's the work that I've had to do, a lot of forgiveness work and a lot of staying in peace and accepting things, a lot of things for what they are, and that I've grown, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
The
It's been a
judgment.
journey.
The judgment.
Yeah.
The judgment. The judgment. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about the judgment for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh
Where
yeah.
did you get the judgment from the most?
Oh boy. Oh boy. Where did I get judgment? Where did it start? Let's go back to family. Let's go back to biology. Let's go back to biology. Let's go back to how we were raised, you know, as Caribbean children,
Mm-hmm.
comparing ourselves or being compared. I remember, boy, I hope my family ain't watch, but y'all can watch. I've had conversations with them too. Um, I remember when I was a child, I was an only child.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, my cousins didn't understand me. And I was a little chubby little girl.
Excuse me?
So, of course,
You were what?
yes, I was chubby. Oh, yeah. Um, so, and I was called very sensitive.
Mm.
I was called very sensitive. So the judgment starts where you're getting compared to the other children in your family, where you're getting compared to your parents. Oh, you act just like your mother. You act just, you know, stuff like that. And hearing some of those things over time, you know, sticks with you, and it chips away at your esteem. So then what do? You start to believe that stuff, and you start to be your own critic,
Mm-hmm.
and you start to be hard on yourself because you're like, well, this must be true what they're saying because this is pretty much what I'm hearing. Must be true.
Wait, what happened to your sound? Did you just get a call or something that did something to your
Is it
mic? You just sounded like you just went way far.
all for real? I don't know.
That's so
Can
weird.
you hear me now?
You sound like you just went into the other room and talking.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. Let me hit my phone. Is that better? I don't know.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's so weird.
Let me see if I can switch my sound. Let's
You
see.
had a Bluetooth device nearby or something?
No, well,
Ah,
my
you're
Bluetooth
back.
is off. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you just came back.
I switched. I kind of played around with the volume thing. I changed it to phone, then changed it back to speaker.
Okay.
It's better now.
Yeah. Perfect.
Good. Um, yeah. So I became my own critic.
Mm-hmm.
After experiencing a lot of that stuff, and that just carried over. And I've had to change that. So now, instead of being critical, how I go against that, or how I counteract it, is practicing gratitude.
Mm.
First with myself. I don't care if it can be the smallest thing. I don't care. I'm being grateful for it, in myself. I'm grateful for this body. I'm grateful for this gift that God's given me. I'm grateful, um, for this place that I have that is peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that I get to create a life that is more so living in ease, and that helps me to combat that judgmental um part. Yeah, yeah.
They in I for me, there was always the worry of the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, am I gonna get compared to this person? Am I gonna be compared to this relative, that relative? I had to deal with my own comparisons. I had to deal with jealousy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until in my adulthood that I learned that being jealous is essentially comparing yourself with someone else.
Mm. This is true.
And that was an eye opening moment for me. And
Yeah.
funny enough, doing this broadcast, this particular broadcast, Real Talk,
Yeah.
was instrumental in doing that. And I started doing Real Talk in 2010. The
Mm.
whole night shift series started
Yeah.
back in 2010. Real Talk started with a good friend of mine who needed a place to talk.
Mm.
And so this was her idea. And she and I used to
Okay.
have quite the banter. And she and I started this Real Talk in
Wow.
2010. It started when TC started Flex FM. He called me up and said, Stu, I have a spot for you.
Nice.
I played music for like the first 2 weeks, and that was it.
Yeah.
The talk show was born.
Mm.
And so here you have the recognition of self starting to come out and not knowing how exactly to navigate that space.
Mm-hmm.
Again, having gone to therapy, it helped me to realize certain things. Forming certain relationships.
Yeah.
I have a friend that we have laid eyes on each other physically only once.
Mm-hmm.
And she and I are like real tight.
Yeah.
She helped me to recognize certain things that I didn't even recognize myself.
Mm.
She would say, like, but this is what you do, though. I was like, what do you mean? She said, but you always do this. And my friend that started Real Talk with me, she would point out some similar things. In fact,
Mm.
I ended up being friends with Tina in Jamaica because I mistook her for Kelly here in the chat.
Oh,
She was in the chat on the broadcast one night, and I mistook
yeah.
her for Tina for Kelly, and we became friends that very night,
Wow.
and have not been anything less from that
Wow.
moment.
Nice. Nice.
So, so here you have these connections, these family bonds, and helping you to find balance without you even recognizing that you're finding balance. So, this is
Right.
the other thing that I want to ask you about. When did you start recognizing that the people that are around you, that you are holding close, are the ones that you needed to keep around you, and the ones that you have let go, that you had to
Hmm.
let go?
Well, it it definitely, so some of the people that are around me now that I decided to keep around me as my close friends have been with me. Like one of them is my best friend from high school. And then another one of them was right before I came up from Jamaica. And I was working when we ended up, becoming good friends. And both people, they they recognize my flaws and they'll call me out on stuff just the same as I would do with them. But there was just a genuine love, that was felt. Um, the ones that I had to let go, it it was just unhealthy. Just where there was manipulation or just too much negativity in the way that it was bringing me down, because we recognize when we're being brought down, whether we recognize that it's somebody else bringing us down or it's us, because firstly, for me, I started to question, okay, what's happening here? And I assess my relationships. I take inventory of my relationships,
Mm.
you know? So if I'm saying, okay, this relationship right here, I need to put this, I either need to put this person in another box where we're not interacting as much, or I just need to let you go, you know? And I can also keep the people that are with me. And it's not even saying that the people that are my foundational people, we haven't had our arguments or disagreements and stuff. Yes, for sure. But there is still an honesty and a truthfulness and an authenticity
Right.
that I can sense. And I feel like we all can sense, when something is good for us or not. So the people that are around me are just innately good for me in the way that they encourage me to be better, and they encourage me to, in both my professional and personal life, they give great advice, you know, um, and they're just very open with their energy. And I'm the same with them. Otherwise, there are some people that you just don't mesh with. Some people that, due to inexperience, we allow them in our space. I allowed some people in my space that should have never been there. But again, you know what? I'm learning that everybody is brought into our life for a certain reason and a certain lesson. So I take my lesson and we move on, you know? So yeah, that's been my range of deciding who stays and who goes. And some people X themselves out. People will X themselves out.
One of the things I've realized is on this journey to finding self, because it's a continuous journey for me. There are some people that, as they see you on your journey and recognize you going in a particular direction, they will literally do that. Take
Mm.
themselves out of the
Oh yeah.
equation. The other thing is that you will outgrow some of them. So some you have to physically remove, intentionally remove, I should say, and
Yeah.
some will just organically go, and they will be
Mhm.
replaced.
Yeah.
Either they are going to be replaced by someone else, or they will be replaced by the strength you found within yourself, by that part of yourself that you discovered that you needed to get
Mm.
in touch with.
Yeah.
For me, a big part of finding balance comes with getting to know the person in the mirror.
Yeah.
One of the things that has in more recent years bothered me is when I get to meet someone for the first time and I say, "Hi, I'm Kevin. Who are you?" You know, and everything surrounds what they do, and I will give them that moment where they
Mm.
get to bask in that glory of what they have accomplished.
Right.
And then when they get that out of the way, I can get to find out who they are.
Mm. Yeah.
Because what you do is not who you are. And you may do what you do because of who you are.
Right.
You may do it because it's a means to an end. The night shift is because of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Community and finance, healthy love, real talk. These are all extensions of Kevin Stew.
Yeah.
That is a part of who I am. So when I introduce myself to someone and I tell them that, you know, I have this broadcast, I'm giving them a part of me. I talk about my
Mm-hmm.
9 to 5 as secondary.
Yeah.
It supports this because this is who I am. And so,
Yeah.
me finding balance is knowing who I am and what it is that I want to accomplish, who it is that I want to reach, who it is I want to help, and how it is that I intend to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Comes with finding
Yeah.
balance.
True. And you do need people around you also who can reflect that and who can help you navigate that. Because as much as we grow in isolation, we also grow in relationship.
Right.
Um, and so it was very important for me to have people around me, and still is to have people around me who I know are for me. And those people over time, sometimes only time will tell. Some people, off rip, they're not for you. Sometimes they're definitely wolf in sheep clothing. Um, and it takes some time, to figure it out. I also, like you said, you got to look at the person in the mirror. And, I'm still discovering myself. Like you said, healing, is, or getting to know you is a never ending journey, because we are all change. We change,
It's the only thing that's constant.
Um, and yeah, and I had to recognize some of the patterns that caused me to attract certain people, and not just to attract them, because I feel like we will attract all kinds of different people, but it's who we give our time to that matters. It's who we give our attention to. So I also had to be more attuned to who I was giving my time and my attention to. And that was in getting to know me. And that's a journey in itself. I'm still getting to know me. But one of the important things are my core values. I want to be in a community. I want to be a part of a community. I don't want to feel like I'm being isolated from anything. And there are people who will, especially when they see something in you that they crave and they want. They'll try to put you under a little glass jar and just try to keep it to themselves. No, that's not, no. Um, so it's who you give your attention to and recognizing other people's values, because like attracts like, in a way. They say opposites attract, but there's certain values that I think we have to look for in ourselves, that reflect, other people, so that we can have lives that are less drama. And that's where I moved to.
Mm-hmm.
I look
Mm-hmm.
for people who are more in alignment with my values on, um, family, my values on community, my values on, work, my values on wanting peace, my values on, I don't have to go out to the club to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are just certain things, my values on healthy living, my values on mental health, they're just, certain things that we can look for to avoid certain situations that bring drama into our lives. Because we attract some drama into our life because we don't know ourselves. So we have to be able to know, um, reflect on ourselves enough to say, you know what, I don't want this drama. What do I need to do to eliminate it? And go through that, go down the list and say, okay, back to the basics. What are we doing here?
I think I bring some drama into my life because of who I am. I
You need a little bit of drama is not bad. A little, you gotta have some spontaneity, some drama. It's so
so
bad.
we I'm curious
Yes.
because a lot of our time gets caught up in the things we do, the jobs we have, the things that put food on the table.
Yeah.
What about the things that we do for fun?
Mm.
Because the fun stuff needs to be included in the balance.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, a part of my fun is, and I was talking with a coworker of mine, and she raised the point that everything that you do is intentional, isn't it? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I absolutely love to do outside of playing music,
Hmm.
and my playing music is not just DJing. It's as a musician. I started playing, learning music at age 10, against
Nice.
my wishes, but it won't ever leave me.
Yeah.
And outside of music is football. I
Mm.
love playing football. Now, for those Americans that are listening, no, I'm not talking about the game that you play with the foot long ball that you
Right.
use your feet only to run.
We're talking about the
No,
real
no.
football.
We're talking about the ones that y'all call soccer.
Right.
Football. It's called World Cup football for a reason. All right. So, but I play football as a part of my physical health also, because me approaching 50, football, well, physical
Yeah.
energy, physical activity is very important. And one day out of the week is all I have where I can play ball.
Yeah.
And so Friday afternoon comes and 5 o'clock hits. Yeah, cause the real football. 5 o'clock hits and I'm out of the office. I
Right.
don't care about anything again until Monday morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing to do with work. And so that playing ball is important to me. And I don't let anything get between my ball game and that.
Mm-hmm.
because it helps me to maintain balance. That there's the physical, there's a health side, that component that comes
Right.
along with it. That you mentioned being at ease.
Yeah.
Well, the opposite of that is dis-ease. And if you really look at the
Mm-hmm.
word, it is being sick, it is disease
Yeah. Yeah.
that comes in with this dis-ease. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, this is important. I must get this little bit of a work, and I literally call it that, going to have a workout.
Yes.
And after we're done physically playing ball, we sit down and we get a moment where we get to reason,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is also important. The social side is important. These people are not
Yes.
in my life every day, but this one day, for this period of time, they are important.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And then we move from that point, and it's like you put your battery to charge, and now you get to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it recharges that part of your life, and you get to take it through the next 6 days to get back to this
Yeah.
point on the seventh day.
Yeah.
So,
It's
what is your fun thing?
my fun thing. I am not shy to go out and have a little dance with my friends. But so I will sometimes go to the garden
Mm,
every now and I like to do yoga. I like to go watch a movie, just something mindless where I'm not thinking much, where I can disconnect because I'm a very deep thinker and overthinker. So when it's something that I don't have where I can take my mind off of needing to think so much, I'm all for it. Um, I am a meditation person and a prayer person. So in the morning, that's a practice that I do anyway. But for fun, you know, I will say a lot of times it's really having great conversations with people, with my friends. It's being able to find ways to fill my cup. It can be going out to see other bands play, when I get the opportunity to. There's so many different ways. It's going out and eating some really good food or trying something different that I never tried before. It's going and taking a walk, going to the park and sitting down. It's reading a book. That's not because I read a lot of self-development books too, but I have some books that are fiction, or give me a movie like Godzilla or Transformers or one of them, and I'm all for it. Listen, that's my thing. But it's going back to it's finding different ways to fill my cup. There are many different things that I do to fill my cup. But I don't frequent clubs so much because I feel like my life is kind of a party where
mm,
I have to bring the party. Especially singing in top 40s bands, you got to have all this high energy all the time.
right.
So, during my off time, I kind of want to chill a lot. Um, yeah, and connect with people. I want to be a little bit more down to earth, but sometimes that mindless fun where it's loud music and you're just dancing with your friends and we're laughing and we're talking about something really stupid,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know, being shallow works. I've again going back to that the yin and the yang is like because I'm so deep, you gotta have those shallow moments. You gotta have those shallow moments.
Yeah.
So I've learned to accept that everything doesn't have to be heavy. And those hobbies and those things for fun, those shallow moments, nothing bad. But the shallow moments count. They matter.
So, an ideal not working moment for you is being a part of the audience, not being on the stage.
Oh yeah, being a part of the audience, actually, an ideal moment for me is being in silence sometimes because you get overstimulated with all that music all the time.
Yeah, and
So,
when I say being in the audience, I mean figuratively, not necessarily literally.
right, yes. Oh yeah.
Not
Oh
being
yeah.
the center, not being the one that is
Yeah.
presenting all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Being able to observe and to enjoy the moment and just be in the moment. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And that is interesting because as an entertainer,
Yeah.
it is considered this is what you live for.
Right. You
So,
know, I was asked, there was a record label that was interested in me, and they asked me, I probably turned them off. I don't know yet. They haven't, we but they asked me how badly do I want it? You know, because they're like, you gotta want to be number one to make this work. And I was like, well, you know, I want my message to reach people. I'm not gonna do anything though. I'm not gonna compromise myself for it. As an entertainer is like, you're kind of, especially when, you're kind of leaning into art, the artistry, it's like you're kind of called to do certain things or to put on a certain front and want a certain thing so that you can be a certain person. Um, I found that I'm less inclined to want to do just about anything. I'm less inclined to say yes to anything, and everything. Because, again, going back to that balance and the values and my values, of wanting harmony in my life. Do I need to do certain things as an entertainer to get that? Is this really what I want? I've had to ask myself those questions. How do I want to get it? What am I willing to do? And I have to say it's probably a question that I will keep asking myself. How far do I want to go? Because doors, people come knocking, and doors can be open, but it's where do you want it to go? You know?
one of the things that I find interesting about being asked how much you want it,
Yeah.
it's important to pay attention to who is asking that question.
Right.
As a record label coming to you as an artist, you help to make that label. So being asked how much you want it is kind of like asking you how far are you willing to go for us, not for you.
Right.
People ask me why I do my broadcast and how much I make from doing my broadcast. And I
Right.
tell them I don't make a dime from it. That's why do you do
Yeah.
it? I say, well, whereas it would be excellent for where I could live off of this broadcast and it would be self-sustaining. It's just not what it is at this moment. More
Right.
importantly, well, in addition to that, they ask me, how many people I have listening to me and what my reach is like. And I tell them, I don't know. I have
Yeah.
affiliates that carry this broadcast that are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
On Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm in the UK.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm being heard in Jamaica, New Jersey, here in Florida, as the primary places that are broadcasting, simulcasting this broadcast. But I don't know
Yeah.
who else and where else is hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas it matters, what is more important is not how many I reach, it is the one that I connected with.
Right.
And if I connect with one, then I am a hit, I'm a success.
Right.
Because it is that one that needed to hear that one thing that was being said in that one moment that helped to change that life. Because that life is going to go out and change another life.
Oh yeah.
And it's a part of the reason why the motto here is have acceptance through enlightenment,
Mm-hmm.
which when you take the first letters of each of those words, spells hate.
Mm-hmm.
And
Clever.
it's crazy that I would choose to associate a motto with something that is so
Right.
negative, quote unquote, negative.
Yeah.
But you really have to take a step back and know what it is that you're pouring yourself into and what you're
Yeah.
willing to accept as success. Because when you measure your success off everybody else's definition of it, then you'll always be striving to appease the masses.
Right.
At what point do you become comfortable with self and then say, okay, I'm going to move the bar?
Yeah.
Because when you're living for others, you will never find peace. You'll never find that
Mhm.
balance.
Right.
And this is not to say that you disregard what anybody else is saying or what anybody else wants. No, you take that into consideration.
Right.
But because you can't give of an empty cup, you need to fill yourself up first.
Very
So
true.
if you put yourself one side, you don't feed yourself. What are you
Mm-hmm.
giving to those masses that are clamoring for more, that keep coming back and saying, hey, I want more of this from you. I want this out of you. Can you please give us this?
Yes.
Where is it
And
going to
people
come
will
from?
take.
Where does it come from? And so,
Yeah.
in finding balance for me, it's important to come back to the core, come back to self. What do I need?
Yeah.
Who am I? What appeals to me?
Yeah.
And people call it being selfish. Good.
That's okay.
It's
Right.
important that you recognize what selfish is. Because selfish is
Yes.
going on that plane and listening to the instructions, the safety instructions, and recognizing that when that thing drops from the ceiling, you need to put
Oh
yours
yeah.
on first.
Yes.
Or else
Yep.
you pass out and you help no one.
Nobody.
Now, were you being selfish when you were trying to help the other person and you ended up killing them?
Mm. And yourself too.
Well, you might get help. Help might reach you before it reaches them after you've
True.
passed out. But because of you, that person died. We don't look at it that way.
Right.
And so we keep chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and being out of
Yeah.
balance. We're out of sync.
Yeah.
We just can't get it right. We wake up in the morning and wondering, why are we doing this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus waking up and saying, boy, I have to do this again because this needs to get done. The yin and the
Yeah.
yang, the good with the bad, to get to the place you need to be.
Yeah.
And I was so glad. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know, this topic is not my topic. It's hers. This topic is Lici Soul's topic, finding balance, because it is something that is important to her.
Yeah.
She just didn't know that it's something that's important to me too.
Yep.
And when we were talking about doing this, And she said, you know, this is what is one of the things that I wake up and strive to achieve every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do. And you know, one of the things about this, there's no right or wrong answer to the question of how you find balance or
Right.
what balance is. There's no one size fits all to the journey to maintaining or achieving balance.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that is a common denominator is the individual. As individuals, we strive to find this balance in our lives, this work family balance, this money and things
Yeah.
balance.
It's in everything.
We strive for it every day, all day, in everything we do, but
Mm-hmm.
never really sit down and talk about it.
Oh yeah. And I think a lot of people are feeling out of whack, probably feeling like how I was feeling before I could put the words to it. They feel anxious, they feel, irritated, because, they're doing a lot of things that are not bringing them peace. We live in a society that tells us we must be productive. It pushes us to be productive. It pushes us to want to keep up with the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to fight against that. For me, that is one thing I will say I went against, with needing to feel like I needed to have a certain kind of vehicle, or, dress a certain way or whatever. No, or have a certain job, or, something like that. From, like you said, every one of us balance looks different for. And we got to find what works for us. But one thing I will say is too, I've been able to live in ease because I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I do my best to live below my means, and be happy with where it is that I am, while still striving for more, for an elevation that I want to achieve. You know, I would prefer my bank account to be fat and looking really pretty than going and, getting a car just to show whatever. I could care less. Um, I when I decided to actually jump ship from teaching, that was something that was very scary for me. But I considered the pros and cons, and I said, will I be able to make the same, if at the base of everything, will I be able to make the same amount of money that I was making as a teacher while I'm doing music? And the answer was yes. And what does it give me? It gives me back my time. It gives me the opportunity to relax and put my time into other places too. That's how I was able to finish school. Well, not that's how, but
It helped.
it helped. Right, it helped me to finish school. It gave me back my time. And a lot of people, I feel like we want our time back because we work a lot and we try
Yes.
to stretch ourselves in so many different directions. We gotta find some way, some place to get some of our time back that helps us to stay in a more balanced place, in a more harmonious place with ourselves. Because at the end of the day, our health is worth it. Our health is worth cutting back on something that we did, that's harmful for us. Drinking sometimes. It's worth it to um, reconnect with your family or reconnect with your friends. It's worth it sometimes to take a day off. And I always say rest productive. I don't care what anybody says. People will talk about, oh, team no sleep. I haven't heard it in a while, but people talk about team no sleep. No, get some sleep,
Right?
get your because you will be better off to everybody and to yourself, more importantly, making sure that you're resting. It is productive. And don't believe the lies about millionaires or whoever else who don't sleep. Them millionaires be sleeping. They
Yep.
have their money on autopilot, after a certain time. Yes, you put in your work. I say that there are seasons for everything. Like I said, I went through my season working 3 jobs. So I understand the hustle, mentality where you want to get your, especially for COVID and stuff like that, and going through life transitions, but don't stay in that place. I think it's when we stay in that place of survival mode that gets us stuck and
Mm-hmm.
it gets sick. It's being able to recognize the seasons. There's a season for everything. Like
Right.
in Proverbs, it talks about there's a season for work and there's a season for rest.
Mm-hmm.
Recognize which season you're in and accept the season. Don't judge yourself. Like again, like I said, I'm learning to be more gracious with myself to recognize the seasons that I'm in. You know, um, like for instance, me for this month, February has been and January were busy, absolutely busy. And right now, I have only one show for the rest to end out my week. But I've and I typically I might feel guilty because I'm like comparing myself to other people. Oh, they're working and but I'm like, no, Alicia, one, you were singing pretty much every single day for the past 2 weeks.
Yep.
You can rest. You can rest.
Yep.
You've been putting in some work, girl. So
It's
it's like
okay.
learning to right? It's okay. It's okay. So it's putting those boundaries for ourselves to help us to be healthy
Mm-hmm.
and achieve that balance and that harmony in our lives to be like, yeah, I work, but yeah, I rest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Balance. And you mentioned these people believing that the way to be productive is to be going all the time. If you're not taking breaks when you're being productive, you're going pop down.
Yes. Don't do it.
And then what? You
Don't do
fall
it.
out, and then what?
It's a lie.
So if you have a supervisor, a boss, a mentor that is telling you, oh, you need to be pushing all the time, it's time to start looking elsewhere.
And, and one thing that comes to my mind with on this subject of pushing, and this hustle culture,
Hmm.
going to I don't want to say the slavery mentality, but I will in that kind of dynamic where we were fed this lie as Black people
Hmm.
that we were lazy, that we were illiterate, that we were all these things. And I'm like, y'all realize that we built cities, we built countries. Where is the laziness again? Don't believe that lie.
Yes.
You know, we're far from it. We're far from lazy.
Hmm.
So that hustle mentality, yeah, get your money, set yourself up. Things are not easy, but just remember, don't feel guilty about resting. You're not lazy. We all need time to rest and we all need time to recover. And
Yes.
we all need to get out. We all need time to be able to relax from the survival mode that we're in. I feel like so many of us are in this survival mode. I
Hmm.
recognize it.
Hmm.
A lot of women are in that space. We talk, this is going into another topic. about, women who are in that masculine space. It's because they're in survival mode.
Right.
And the women talk about soft girl era. And I'm like, get out of survival mode. Find ways, even if you go back into, because everybody, male and female, we all have feminine and we all have masculine qualities.
Yes.
Step in and out of it. Step in and out of it. And that is a part of learning yourself, that you don't have to stay there. And that's a balance. That again goes back to, you don't have to stay in that space of masculinity where it's push, 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 push all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly believe that men are built physically stronger, when it comes down to a lot of things. Women, I believe, we're not as equipped as men to deal with certain things. I think it's just biology and just evolutionary. Same as with, when it comes down to the emotional or, other things, women are a bit more equipped to deal with certain things,
Yeah.
and we should be playing off of our strengths and recognizing, where we are so we can thrive,
Mm-hmm.
and not feel guilty about where we are.
Right.
It's the working together, the yin and the yang, again, playing off of each other's strengths and playing off of your own strengths. Recognize that.
Well, you see, I'm glad you got to have the opportunity to share a little bit about finding balance,
Yeah,
what it means to you, your journey, um, pulling out some of my journey, and I'm grateful. I truly appreciate of you taking this time out to do this.
of course.
I
I'm
want
happy
you
that I'm able to come on and share that too.
I want you to tell people how they can get in touch with you, because there are some people that will be hearing this on the podcast, will be coming back to the YouTube, and they're gonna want to get in touch with Lici Soul. Forget Kevin Stew, just this dude.
Right.
Lici Soul is the one that I want to get in touch with. I want her to hear more of her music. I want to know when she's doing a live and talking about something random, but it's not that random because it's literally right now and relevant for her at this time.
Yeah.
Where do people find Lici Soul?
So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Lici Soul, Licisoul. I am on YouTube. I have 3 singles out right now. Fantasy of Mine, Love Spell, and Come See About Me. You can find all of them online at YouTube, Amazon Music, all music platforms. Just type in Lici Soul, Licisoul. You can go on my website also to see where I'll be performing, as well as I do post my performance schedules on my Instagram and Facebook. My website is www.licisoul.com. Everything is at Lici Soul, Licisoul. So easy to find. I sing with several bands, so just keep in touch with me online. You can, message me if you want to see my schedule, where I'll be. I travel sometimes, but typically I'm in the South Florida area. So I'm hoping to see somebody at one of my shows.
Okay, and I can tell you, you won't be disappointed. It's not
Yes.
gonna happen. You will see her and go, hmm? I recognize that
Right.
face. Who is that again? And if you've never seen her before, you might miss her until she opens her mouth. And then you go,
Unassuming, right?
right. And then you go, wait, that is coming out of her? It's an amazing thing. I want you to do something for me. We got 15 minutes left on my broadcast.
Yeah.
I usually do for the last half hour musical therapy. So it's
Mhm.
abbreviated today. I have on deck right now
Mhm.
the Vinny production.
Ah, Fantasy of Mine.
Yes, the Vinny
Yeah,
Hamilton production.
produced by Vinnie Hamilton. Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
I want you to introduce it for me, please. Because I've
Okay.
been playing this song for quite a while, and tonight I get to play it with the introduction from the
Yay!
person herself. Please.
Yes. So you are about to listen to the sweet sounds of me, Lici Soul, on Fantasy of Mine, produced by the incomparable producer Vinnie Hamilton. Enjoy.
Thank you, Lici.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, we'll talk here. I go vibe out.
Stay with me.
So sexy.
Like you came to take me to the sky. I never knew you were an angel in disguise. You saved me from spending an eternity alone in the dark. You were my life. Just your smile, and I can feel your tenderness. Now I see you are the one that's meant for me. I believe for me this is what's meant to be. I found out once again, for me will never end this fantasy.
Hey, Lici, mega fast. Did you write this song?
I did.
So, you know.
I'm a little fantasy girl.
Huh? Say what?
I'm a little fantasy girl. I like, listen, did you hear the movies that I say I like? Godzilla, Transformers.
Y'all hear how she's playing this up. Y'all hear how she's playing this up. It's alright. It's for another
I grew
broadcast.
up as an only child, and my imagination is very wild. And this song came to me, and it came in a Spanish. I told Vinny what I wanted, and he delivered. I told him I want it like a tango, because that is the kind of seductive, sensual feel that I hear this song. So yeah.
Like I said, this one is for another broadcast. I'm gonna play
It's the
the
night shift.
tune and do hey,
On the night shift.
listen. She hiding something. I don't know what it is yet. I guarantee you, one night we're gonna sit down and find out. Lici, thank you once again. Let me go finish up this broadcast and get into my musical therapy. My cousin says, listen, that is a nice song. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you know, it goes to match the person.
Ah, thank you.
There we
And
go.
yes, invite me back anytime. I'm here for it. I enjoy my conversation with you. Thank you for anybody who is tuning in, listening. Um, and hope to be back soon.
You will, relatively. You know,
Relatively,
as
yes.
time
Yeah.
allows, we still need to do the artist Lici Soul, but
Yes.
we did the person. All right,
Yes. Yes.
later, Lici.
Yes. Later.
Oh, I need to play the song now.
You just don't know how much you're in my mind. Stay with me.
I'll stay right here with you.
Like you came to take me to the sky. I never knew you were an angel in disguise. You saved me from spending an eternity alone in the dark. You were my light. Just your smile, and I can feel your tenderness. Now I see you are the one that's meant for me. I believe for me this is what's meant to be. I found love once again. For me will never end this fantasy. Oh, we meet all alone every night. Oh, I sigh, 'cause your touch is all that's on my mind. You belong to someone else's arms. You run. Come to me now and share my night. Just your smile, and I can feel your tenderness. Now I see you are the one that's meant for me. I believe for me this is what's meant to be. I found love once again. For me will never end this fantasy. Sweat drops, teardrops, what difference does that make on my pillow when I show nobody else will know? Touch me, feel me, kiss me tenderly, hear me fantasy. Just your smile, and I can feel your tenderness. Now I see you are the one that's meant for me. Yeah, I believe for me this is what's meant to be. I found love once again. For me will never end this fantasy.
This is music from Clive. His rendition of Circles. Before that, we heard from Lici Soul. Fantasy of Mine.
I'll be the bad guy now, but now I ain't too proud. I couldn't leave it, even when I tried. Don't believe it. Do this every time. Seasons
Sometimes we just have to run away. And as we run away, we get to give our full attention. This is Neri.
I want to explain to you that you're the hits on every corner. Gotta
His rendition
girl. What you
of a song made popular by Barry Salmon.
You've got my heart, my head, and my mind all burning with desire. And if ever I was given a chance, every bone in my body would give thanks. Now, baby, what do you expect of me? Should I stand in the middle of the road? Let something run over me. Oh, so that I can get your full attention. Want to explain to you, girl, you're the hits on every corner. Gotta confess to you what you doing to this brother. You've got my heart, my mind, and my soul all burning deep desire. And if ever I was given a chance, every bone in my body would give thanks. Don't let me cry to you, girl. Oh no, crying is a sign of weakness. But I wouldn't lie to you that you did destroying my fitness, girl. So let me stand in the road.
So as I got to give you my full attention tonight,
let something run over.
I hope you get to leave from this place, this point in time, giving yourself your full attention so that you can pour into others. As we part company, remember, look out for members of your community. Your community, it's not just development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is Kevin Stew. That's all I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays right here, kevinstew.com. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew and affiliates. Thank you very much. Truly appreciate, love you. And on Saturdays, you can catch me 8 p.m. Eastern for the Saturday Stew, reggaeglobalradio.com. No Saturday Stew this Saturday, except if you're inside Valencia's. So join me at Valencia's as we celebrate the EP launch from Winchester Tea, Solid as a Rock. Good night to you, my cuz. Love you dearly. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. All right? Y'all, be good. If you can't be good at it. I'm out of here. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.